Hello, it's ElectraSnow, and I'm going to be carrying on the Rainbow series with this Rainbow Smokey eye. I'm coming to you halfway through my beat, so we can just focus on the eye makeup, but all of the products that I've used in my base will be listed down in the description below. For the rainbow colour placement, I wanted to start off with the red being on the outer portion of my eye, working round to the purple being underneath. All of the eyeshadows that I'm using in this tutorial are all by Sugarpill, and the first one we're starting off with the red one, and that is in Love Plus. For the sake of this eye look, I drew my eyebrows on a little bit higher than I would normally, just so I had a little bit more eye room to play around with all those colours, and I took that Love Plus and I winged it out on the outer portion of my eye, slowly fading it in to come round into kind of like an oval shape. Then of course the next colour along the line is orange, and I'm using Flame Point, and instead of sweeping the eyeshadow across the eyes or swirling it around to blend it out, I'm just going in with like tapping motions, and I'm making sure just to overlay those colours a little bit ever so slightly. This will just make sure that the colours blend in a little bit more seamlessly, because that tapping motion just pushes the colours in together so that the colours blur and they look a hell of a lot more seamless than they would be if you was like smudging them around, because the colour placement can move quite a lot with this. So I'm just taking that Flame Point and I'm tapping that into the centre of my eye and blurring it into the red a little bit as we go. I'm making sure to continue on with that oval shape from the red so it continues down to the centre of my eye, and then I'm also making sure to leave a little area in the tear duct so we can go in with the yellow in a moment. For the yellow, I'm using Butter Cupcake, and I'm focusing that on the inside portions of my eye and my tear duct, and I'm using them same patting motions and pushing it over to the orange to blur the colours together. If you're recreating this eye look, you will end up dirtying quite a few different makeup brushes because you want to keep these colours pristine. In the end, I think I used 3 different makeup brushes because I kind of flipped them over so I could use both sides of the paddle, but you will end up making a lot of brushes dirty when you do this look because the colours need to be kept pristine and clean, and when you're blurring them together you don't want to end up smudging colours that you don't want the placement to be there. To start off the transition from the yellow into the green, I went in with one of my favourite colours by Sugarpill, and that is Acid Berry. It's kind of like a really nice light sour lime colour, and I used that just in the tear duct and started to pull it along my lower lash line onto my lower eyelid. Next, I went in slightly further along my lower lash line with another green, and this is in the shade Midori. I used another green at this point just so that we could transition that Acid Berry into a slightly deeper green so that it would blend into the blue a lot more easier. Just because the Acid Berry is quite light and it works perfectly for transitioning the yellow into the green, but when you're transitioning blue into green you want something with a little bit of a deeper colour so the colours can merge better together and it looks a lot more seamlessly with the blending. For the blue, I went in with After Party, and I just swept that over some of the Midori, pulling it out to the end of my lower lash line so that the blue can pop through and we get a little bit more of the blue shining through there. For the purple, I'm actually mixing 2 colours by Sugarpill together, and this is Poison Plum and Dolly Pop. Now these colours are extremely pigmented, and I didn't want this to be like the brightest colour payoff at the end of the eye because I'm actually going to be going in with a double wing in a minute. So I just went in ever so lightly with these 2 colours and kind of just like used the tip of the brush and the lightest hand possible just to smudge that little bit of purple onto the outer portions of the lash line, taking it out kind of to a wing but dragging it down. I didn't want to connect this colour into the red because, as I say, with doing the double wing in a moment, I wanted to keep the colours separate so that the lashes could kind of be like, the lower colours would be like the last colours of the rainbow dragging down, and it would be all brought round from the red at the top and disconnecting as it fades out to the end. I mean, if that makes any sense at all, you can see what I'm goddamn doing. Once I've got all the colour placements down in the rainbow, I'm just going in with that same red and orange, which is Love Plus and Flame Point, and I'm using that to just pull those colours up to where my brow bone is, just so I can blur the colours up to where my brows have been drawn on. After I've pulled those colours up a little bit higher, I'm then going in with the white by Sugarpill, and this is Taco, and I'm just using that to do a nice kind of like white brow highlight. I love to do a white brow highlight, and it works perfectly when you've got a really vivid, bright, crazy coloured eye like this going on. Being as that white is really highly pigmented, it can take away some of the blending that we've just done with the Flame Point and the Love Plus, but it's just a case of going in with those colours again, patting them over so that you get a nice flawless blend. And to finish off those skeleton brow lines we've got going on, I'm using a shadow by Inglot, and this is in the shade 363. I had a bit of a bastard of a time getting these eyebrows to match because they are quite a bit higher than I would normally draw them, and it was kind of a bad brow day for me. So to clean up the edges, I went in with MAC Full Coverage in white, and I just took that and on a very small kind of like fine detailer brush, and I used that just to like clean up the edges of the brows underneath into my highlight. And I just went over with some more of that taco, which is the white by Sugarpill, just to set that, because that white foundation is obviously a really thick consistency, so it can smudge around a little bit. As you see, I do kind of like touch it up with a little bit more of the Inglot now and again, just to get the brows as perfect as I possibly could on that day. But as I say, it was a bad eyebrow day. Now that I've got all of that colour blending work and all of that hard work done, it's time for the scary bit and the bit that could ruin all of that hard work. Liquid eyeliner. I'm using my trusty favourite, which is Collection 2000 Fast Stroke, and this is it's one of like my favourite liquid liners because it's pretty inexpensive and I get through a lot of liquid liner when I do drag looks. And it's pretty easy to apply, like the tip is quite chunky, but when you're doing like kind of like a thick brow, or like a really thick wing liner that I usually like to do, because sometimes I do use this for my brows, it's kind of like a perfect consistency as well, and it is like a really nice matte black. I just hold my breath and apply and hope that the second one matches as best as it can do. Thankfully I got that out of the way without too much of a problem, and once that was completed I just took some Bulletproof, which is also by Sugarpill, and I use that just to give a little bit more depth to my lower lash line, so it could have a little bit more definition, because those colours there kind of just make it look like you're a little bit crazy really, so having that dark just gives a little bit more depth and definition to the eye. And then on the outside of that Bulletproof, connecting to my lower lash line, I went in with the Collection 2000 liquid liner again, and I used this just to pull out a second wing from the lower part of my lashes. I didn't connect this up to the topper line of lashes at all, because as you can see, I've got the definition between the two wings, and I made this one just ever so slightly shorter, so that it could kind of be a step between the two. For some weird reason, doing a wing on the lower lash line seems a little bit less daunting than doing the top one, just I think because that top one can ruin a hell of a lot of all that hard work that we've just done. And just before the liquid liner dries fully, I just go in with an angle brush and I just drag it back along that Bulletproof, and I just make sure that it all kind of blurs in. Being as the liquid liner is a little bit of a thicker consistency than the powdered eyeshadow is, this just makes sure that they all blend together and you don't kind of have like a step between the two different consistencies. You may have noticed though that this liquid liner did kind of bite me in the arse, because in the intro you can just see a small tiny speck of it sitting on that buttercup cake yellow, which is very triggering for me because I'm OCD about makeup, but yeah, liquid liner can be a bitch. I then curl my lashes and apply mascara, and I think this mascara is by Maybelline and it's something called like Lycra Flex. The name of it will be down in the description below because I can't think of it offhand at the moment, but yeah, it's definitely something got Lycra in it, and I think it's by Maybelline or L'Oreal, one of the others. I usually use Maybelline or L'Oreal mascaras just because they're pretty cheap, and to me mascara is mascara. 90% of the time I'm wearing lashes, so I don't really use mascara for the aspect of what the mascara can achieve. I just use it to blur my real lashes into fake lashes. For my lips, I dragged out one of my really old favourites, and this is a lip liner by Barry M, which I used to wear all of the time years ago. It's like my favourite colour, and it still is, to be honest. I don't know why I stopped wearing it. I just kind of went into red lips and then kind of forgot about this. But as you can see, like the pencil is really small, and I have to hold on to the cap to make it easier for me to apply it to the lips, because it's been sharpened so many times and used a hell of a lot. The name of it is rubbed off, or the number, and I can't 100% remember exactly what one it is, but I'll do some research and dig in on the internet, go on Barry M. I know it's definitely by Barry M, and I'll find out what shade it is and leave it in the description below. The final thing to do to this look is of course add the crown and glory, and by that I mean lashes. Now these lashes I purchased off of eBay, and I'm actually wearing 3 pairs in this video. I'm actually using 3 pairs which I've stacked on top of each other and then like pushed down to get a really nice thick lash. So yeah guys, that's the look complete, using pretty much all Sugarpill eyeshadows. If you're looking for really bright eyeshadows, definitely check out Sugarpill. If you haven't heard of them already, I mean, I don't know who hasn't unless you've been living under a rock. This isn't a sponsored video at all. I've bought all of these products with my own money. I just love the brand completely. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. All of the products I've used in this video will of course be listed down in the description below. But yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, bye bye.